Since your husband's affair, do you feel like you become someone you're not? Some women would describe their post affair anger as blackout rage. It's so intense and it's this out of body experience, like they're watching themselves and they just can't stop. Other women would describe their anger as just uncontrollable. It's like this rush of fury that just comes over them. That's so powerful, it drowns out all reason. They start yelling, slamming doors, throwing things, saying things that they would never have thought they would have ever said. Or some women describe their anger so much like a split personality. They're like, who is this other version within me? I didn't even know she existed. It's like this tidal wave of emotion that comes over you and you barely recognize yourself. Well, other women would describe their anger like a volcanic eruption. They will have moments where they're just feeling like sad, and all of a sudden it just bubbles within them, and out comes these, this like eruption that they never knew was possible. So in this live, we're going to uncover and talk about betrayal, post betrayal anger, and the specific steps of overcoming it. You're not going to want to miss this one. I'm going to give you a ton of gold in terms of why it's happening and how to overcome of it. Because it's not just like, oh, I'm angry. No, it's so much deeper than that. So I'm Beth Miller, and I am a marriage coach. I am a certified hypnotist, and I help women in a very different way save their marriages. My team and I, we have a backwards approach to traditional therapy, a proven method where we support our wives every single day. So if you're interested, put the word chat in a DM or in the comment below, and what we can do is set up a quick chat with myself or my team, and what we can do is give you a free personalized strategy on how to overcome what you're going through. And if it's anger, we're on it. We can help you with that. So in this slide, like I said, we're going to talk about 5 ways to deal with that rage and anger after a husband's affair. And so comment below with the emoji that you're feeling right now. Is it the anger emoji, or is it just a thumbs up? Yeah, I'm experiencing anger too. And so the kind of anger isn't just about betrayal. And I want to put that out there. And I mentioned it kind of a second ago. It's not about just the betrayal. It's about everything that encompasses it, like the lies, it's the loss, it's this deep injustice of this isn't fair. It's about broken trust. It's the fact that you didn't ask for this and it's all consuming. You can't focus, you can't be the person you want to. It's your identity of yourself and your marriage, your husband, who is he? And the rage isn't just a reaction. We'll talk about this in a bit. It's a message. It's a signal from deep within you that's trying to tell you something. So let's talk about this. And like I said, comment below the word chat if you want to get some free advice, or if you want, put an emoji below or do both. So a lot of my clients ask me how, like very simply, like, how do I let the anger go without feeling like I let him off the hook? Because that's a lot of the reasons why the anger comes up, because you need to keep reminding him, like, yeah, I'm in a lot of pain too. And I want you to feel this as well. So how do I let go of the anger without letting him off the hook? How do I control the anger because it's so powerful? It comes upon me and it just feels uncontrollable. So let's get you those answers today. So diving in, one major message I have for you is traditional anger management techniques don't always work as well as we'd like them to work. They're not as quick. And they don't always work all that well. So the truth is, anger isn't just about the betrayal. Like I said a minute ago, it's tied to this deep subconscious belief. So if we start talking about anger at a very conscious level, yeah, like I just mentioned, I'm angry because you can't trust him. You're angry because of the lies. You're angry because he did this to you. And you're angry because of all these reasons. And that's logically talking about it. But subconsciously, there's something driving that anger. That's where our emotions come from. So most advice on how to handle anger, yeah, you could go to anger management classes. You could do some deep breathing, you can journal, you can talk to a friend, very surface level, very conscious brain ideas, which are like 5% of our brain power. 95% of our brain is subconscious. That's where we store our beliefs, our emotions. That's where all our thoughts come from. And when we're talking about just do some deep breathing, talk about it, that's 5% of our brain power. So what about that 95% that's like, I'm angry, and it's fueling that anger with the beliefs and memories that are in there. So those methods, breathing, talking to a friend, journaling, give you temporary relief. They calm your nervous system. And we'll talk about nervous system a little bit later, but your parasympathetic, sympathetic. But again, we want to get these results. We want to figure out how to get rid of the anger. And talking about it gives you deeper relief, but it doesn't get to the unresolved, deeper emotional issues and beliefs that are driving that anger. That's why it comes on so fast. You're like, where did that even come from? You can't just be like, nope, not going to be angry, turn off the switch. It comes upon you, and that's the subconscious mind. So anger often masks something deeper within you. And it could be like fear it's going to happen again, fear of unworthiness. Why did he do this if he actually loved me? And so these beliefs are unchangeable unless we address them on a deep subconscious level. I keep using that word, deep subconscious. So you'll find yourself stuck in these same emotions. So it's time to end the cycle. Um, so what we need to do is first step, like I just mentioned, really easy, recognize that, you know what, I'm angry. Got it. Check. And recognize that understanding these emotions are the first step to breaking free. So this is very conscious level. Like, okay, I'm angry because it's completely natural to feel angry after being betrayed. Anger is a survival response, like fight, flight, freeze. And that fight is the anger. And it's automatically comes from within you. It's a sympathetic nervous system that's response, like you don't have control over it. It just comes up. It's a primal response that we have. So anger is a survival response. The brain perceives danger, whether it's actually there or not. Your brain perceives danger, and it produces this deep emotional reaction such as anger. And what happens is then you can't your heart rate goes faster, you're not digesting your food the same way, so you might feel stomach upset, you can't speak or think as clearly when you're in these states because your body is in survival. It's like the lion, even though it's not the lion, right? You probably heard this before. So it's the mind's attempt to regain control over a situation, to hyper focus. Everything goes towards survive. But when anger is driven by the subconscious beliefs of I'm not enough, he wouldn't have done this, and that creates the anger, or he always abandons me, or I feel rejected, or I'm not loved. And if he loved me enough, he would have stopped. And that's producing the anger. That's what's producing that fight response. And it can keep you really stuck in this emotional loop. So, how do we start to break it? We had the awareness step one. Step two is we need to access the theta brainwave state. And you might be like, oh, how do I get into that theta brainwave state? Sounds so scientific. You and I right now, we're in beta. We are thinking, we're analyzing, we're talking at a very conscious level. The next step is alpha. It's a bit relaxed. It's very like you're very in the moment. It could be watching a TV show, it could be watching kids' sports, it could be just like enjoying the moment, which many of you are not in right now because your head is ruminating. Anytime you have something not to do, your brain goes off into the affair. So you're not in that alpha. Theta is one step further where you're like almost in a daydream like state. And then delta's asleep. And a lot of you are having trouble in your delta brainwave state. So you spend a lot of time in that beta, potentially high beta, which is a high stress state. And so we want to get you into theta. And that's where we can access the subconscious mind plus access a little bit of the beta brain. And so anger isn't something that you can simply talk yourself out of. Like, I wake up every day, look in the mirror. I'm not going to be angry anymore. I'm not going to be angry anymore. I'm going to start to try and not be so angry. Yeah, you can do that until you're triggered and then you don't have control anymore. So you can't talk yourself out of it. It lives in your subconscious mind. It operates beneath the logical and the conscious mind. That's why no matter how many times you tell yourself, stay calm, let go, the anger keeps bubbling up. In fact, you're kind of pushing it down. So think of it like driving a car. So if you're driving a car, imagine you're on the road, someone suddenly cuts you off, and before you even have time to think about it, you slam on the brakes, that's automatic. And then your heart starts to pound and you might have this surge of anger, like, how dare this person do this to me? Your subconscious mind has already linked what's happened to danger. So that's that fight or flight response. So this is what happens with you with betrayal. So we can take driving a car and someone cutting you off to betrayal. The anger that you feel after the affair isn't just a conscious reaction, it's a subconscious. It's wired deep within you. Your mind has associated what he's done or what he's currently saying, what he's currently doing or not doing with the wounds of how he's hurt you, right? Um, so that could be feeling abandoned, not worthy, not loved, not trustworthy. And so you tell yourself to calm down, but the subconscious keeps running, it's running the show, and your body instinctively reacts. That's why that anger keeps coming up. It's like someone keeps cutting you off in traffic, and that's what's happening. Your husband is cutting you off in traffic every single day. He's cutting you off in the road of life every single day. And until we can change that reaction, the subconscious is wired for that response. So I want to tell you there is ways to take control of this. And one of the ways to get into that theta brainwave state, you can do it on your own. You definitely can, and we can talk a little bit more about it. But the one method we really use is hypnosis. And so you get into that theta brainwave state, which is very naturally occurring. It's like a daydream state. I've mentioned this before on in the trainings, but you're in class in school, and your teacher's teaching science, maybe anatomy, and you start kind of your brain just kind of drifts off, and you're thinking about what you want to do after school, or thinking about a boyfriend or something that's fun that's going to happen. And all of a sudden, your teacher's like, "Hey, Beth, tell me what system is this? Is this the circulatory system or the skeletal muscular system?" And you're like back into it. You're back into beta. You're just in theta. And so we want to get into that kind of that daydream state where, yeah, you can be pulled back in to beta and talking about science, or you could be in that daydream state, which is where we'll access some of the pain and the trauma of what you've endured from the betrayal. And so when we get into this very naturally occurring state called theta, it's like kind of like a deep meditation on steroids. It's just before you fall asleep. This is the state where we can really make change happen. So hypnosis allows you to get to the access of the anger because you could simply in that state go to a time you felt angry and all of a sudden kind of daydream like you can see times when you felt the anger or hurt, whether he's lying to you again, the day you found out about more of the lies. And so what we want to do is gently shift these deep-seated beliefs of I'm not heard, I'm not seen, he could be lying again to, you know what? He could be lying, but I'm safe and I'm okay. I choose to love him today. I choose to trust him today. I know him enough, regardless of like I don't let I don't let his actions dictate my worth. I am strong. I have a voice. Yeah, we could change all kinds of beliefs here. And that's where we do a lot of it because we kind of release the pain. We don't let it go completely. We can't get rid of it. Like our memories are still there. But it's kinda like the smoke alarm that keeps going off, but then when we do the subconscious work, it's like the smoke alarm doesn't have to keep coming out because that smoke alarm going off all the time, it's exhausting, it's disruptive, and we don't wanna silence the anger, we don't wanna silence the alarm that's going off, but instead we wanna make it really clear that I don't want this anger to happen anymore because it's not serving me, it's like hostage within me. So hypnosis is a powerful tool to help you rewire the brain. Okay, but like I said, how do you get yourself into a theta brainwave state if you're not doing hypnosis? Um, well, you can kinda get there through, like, that alpha state where they're like I said, it's kinda journaling, but you just really relaxed, you can put on some music and you get very relaxed. You can imagine yourself just counting back from 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you can just say to yourself, "Am I ready to let go of the anger?" And so you can do a little bit on your own. "Am I ready to let go of the anger?" And you'll hear the voice within you, "Yes, yes, I wanna let go of the anger." And you're like, "Okay, is it safe to let go of the anger?" And your body's like, "Oof, no, not safe." And then you could ask it's like a dialogue that you can have back and forth with yourself. "Why is it not safe?" And your deep inner voice might say, "Well, he might hurt me again." So you could be like, "Okay, let's go back to a time he hurt you." And you play around with this, like, kinda dialogue. It's like because some of you describe it as, like I said, a split personality. It's like 2 voices. So it's like your logical, like, conscious, loving self talking to that hurt, wounded, angry self. And you're like, "Can I let go of that?" And you're like, "Okay, it's safe to let go of that, but I'm gonna put boundaries in place. I'm gonna speak up for myself. I'm gonna do check-ins." So you can kinda have this inner dialogue within your head. Of course, it's really effective when you do it with a professional, but you can do a little bit of that on your own, have that inner dialogue. So this is where, like I said, the hypnosis comes in. This naturally occurring state of theta can really help get to that subconscious mind and have that dialogue come up. So number 3, we have emotions of anger. It has a message, and so you wanna hear it, and then just recognizing that emotion and finding out what the message is, and then number 2, making sure we hear that message, and number 4, reprogramming your mind so, like, anger no longer controls you, and it's like we said, willpower isn't gonna cut it. It's gonna take a very long time. It's like looking in the mirror and say, "I'm not gonna be angry. I'm not gonna be angry today. I'm gonna let this go. I'm gonna restart today." That's one of the worst things you can say is, "I'm gonna restart today." We all have really good intentions when we wake up each and every day. "Today's a new day. I'm gonna do this today." But the moment we feel exhausted, triggered, like I said, it's this automatic response that's happening through the sympathetic nervous system that's like danger. It's like someone cutting you off in traffic. It just happens. And so it's very difficult to reprogram unless we can deal with the anger that's stored within our subconscious mind that's linked to the danger, which is his lies, his hurting you again, the pain of what you've discovered. So you might have told yourself like 100 times, I'm going to let it go. I'm going to be the bigger person, but willpower alone isn't enough. To really, really get the subconscious to reprogram. Um, okay, so beliefs, like imagine this here. The belief is if you hold the belief, if I trust again, he'll hurt me. So that's the belief you have subconsciously that keeps triggering the anger. If I choose to trust him, I'm just gonna be hurt again. So you have that belief. And so when the betrayal so what happens is the emotion that comes through is anger. We'll say anger again. We're still working through anger. If I trust him, he'll hurt me again. So you're angry. Like, I can't trust you because you're just going to hurt me again. So in response, your body and mind instinctively want to lash out or withdraw, but often lash out in that anger. And because you need him to know that, you know what, if I can't trust you, it means you're probably going to hurt me again. So the cycle repeats over and over and over again, no matter how much you consciously try to stay calm. And that's why traditional anger managements don't work. So in the Soulify program that we have, and we work with our clients for 12 weeks, every single day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, because we want to know every time you're angry, every time you're sad, because that's that message, like I said, that emotion has a message. It's saying, I'm not safe. I can't trust. And those I statements are driving your emotions. So those I statements are your beliefs, the big beliefs with all these clouds around us. They rain down the thoughts of, um, Like, why'd he do this? Why would he, like, jeopardize our whole relationship? Does he actually love me? Is he going to do it again? So we have these beliefs, I can't trust him. It rains down the thoughts, which then produce the emotion, a neurochemical in our body, which then from there produces our actions. Like when we're feeling angry, the action is to lash out. When we're feeling sad, it might be to withdraw and cry. And so if we can change that belief, if it's safe to trust today, it's going to have other thoughts that aren't, I'm so angry, he's going to do this to me again. And so we really want to, this program, 12 weeks, what we do is we rewire your brain using the subconscious mind. We support every single day. We know what you're thinking. We're giving you real time strategies versus going to counseling once a week and then having to recap a whole week's worth of stuff. We know exactly what's happening every single minute so that you're not left to your own devices for a whole week until you see your therapist again. So we're using the subconscious mind. So the results, clients no longer feel the need to explode anymore. For the first time in months or even years, they actually experience peace and lightness within them. They naturally release the resentment. They naturally release the anger. And often anger is the secondary emotion. Beneath the anger is often sadness, maybe shame, maybe guilt. Like guilt that how could I have not seen this? So sometimes we're actually angry at ourselves, but we project it onto him. I'm a smart person. How could I have not seen him doing this? So yeah, so before reprogramming, where some of you may be at right now, you wake up in the morning, the first thought you have is the affair. Just hits you out of nowhere. You're like, oh, if I could just go back to sleep, it was feeling more peaceful. Or you wake up in the middle of the night and it's like the affair. It just starts right then. Your stomach tightens, your heart might start to race, you might feel sadness, you might feel anger, just like cocktail of a stew of different emotions. Your husband can even walk into the kitchen and right there your blood is boiling and you just snap at him over something small. Maybe he didn't wipe the crumbs off the counter and that's it. It's not about the crumbs, it's about something deep within you that how dare he do this to you? That's the belief. How dare he do this to me if he loved me? And so it's yeah, he loads the dishwasher wrong, you're off. You're off, and it's not about the dishwasher. And so that's because the resentment is already there. You are working in past, past memories, and we wanna make sure we can focus on the present. Okay, he just loaded the dishwasher wrong. We deal with that versus maybe the resentment of other things building up, and the dishwasher's what just the straw that broke the camel's back. Um so we want you to be able to wake up with a sense of calm. We want you to see him load the dishwasher wrong or not wipe the counter correctly. And you're like, okay, it's just about the dishwasher. It's just about the crumbs. Okay, so the shift isn't about just forgetting and forgiving. That is not what we do. We do not want to just forgive and forget. We can't forgive. I mean, sorry, we can forgive. We can't forget. It's stored subconsciously within our mind. Like everything's in there, childhood experiences. And our brain's very efficient. It does what's called pruning. It files things in the back, like history facts, calculus facts, science facts. It's all stored there. So if you get the book back out, you're like, oh, yeah, I kind of remember that. So it's stored there. Some are easily accessible than others. A lot of us don't remember things under kind of age 3, sometimes age 5, sometimes under 8, but definitely around that time, we definitely have very strong memories of what's happened. So we want to be able to access that brain to file away the affair. We're not bearing it, we're not forgetting it. So it doesn't mean you're giving him excuses, but we want to not let him off the hook either. We want to know, you know what, I'm healing and I'm doing this for myself. I'm doing this for our marriage, or I'm doing this so I get the clarity to decide, do I want our marriage? And so what happens next is it's repetition. So when you work with us or you're working on it yourself, whenever the anger comes up, you're like, okay, why is the anger here this time? Because I was just working on the anger towards, um, if he did this, he wouldn't. He doesn't. If he cheated on me, because he cheated on me, it means he doesn't love me, and that creates anger. But then we start to separate it. He cheated is separate than him loving me. Even though it feels for a while like it's the same, if we start to separate them, then you can be like, okay, he does love me. He's here. He's answering my questions. Or it doesn't feel like he loves me because he's not answering my questions. So I choose to work on myself, and I'm not going to let the anger get to me. So we're just creating these new beliefs. So every time anger comes up, we want to make sure, okay, what belief, what message is this anger telling me? And then we want to tackle that belief and realize, you know what, that's not serving me. I don't want that to be the message in my brain um, yeah, it's I need to protect myself, and I do so with anger. So most clients notice that after doing the I should say, yeah, all clients, if they're doing like 3 of these hypnosis tracks per week, they're communicating with us daily, they notice that when they do this work, their husbands actually start to open up more too, because they're not as mad, they're not as sad, and their husband, who probably deep down, even if they don't acknowledge it, feels a lot of guilt and shame for what they've done, and they start to feel safer to open up because it hurts them a lot to see how much you're in pain as well. Their behavior is not excusable. It's not okay what they did. They should have come and talked to you ahead of time. They should have sought out help before, but they weren't capable at that time for whatever reasons, whether it's addiction, whether it's seeking out validation, whether it's low self-worth, whatever it was that they were doing. There's no excuses. But when you're in a better place, you'll be on a stronger foundation within your marriage, which will allow him to help heal some of his cracks and will bring the two of you closer together because you're in a better place. So yeah, the transformation isn't dependent on him changing first. Absolutely not. The one thing you have control of is you. And I know you don't want to feel so angry anymore. I know you don't want to feel this way anymore. You just want to stop thinking about it. You want to be able to trust him or get to a place where you can at least trust yourself to realize, you know what, it's safe to trust him. So with that said, it's time to reclaim your power, right? Over this anger. And to do so, we gotta get into the subconscious mind and realize, okay, I can't stop the anger. It's the sympathetic response. Like fear, is causing the flight, freeze, and like the flight, fight, freeze to come up. Sorry, I just stumbled through that. But yeah, you don't have to stay stuck in that cycle anymore. True healing starts with you when you start to reprogram your subconscious mind and release the emotional weight that's attached to his affair. Imagine just letting it go, like letting it go, but from a place of not okay. I'm not okay that he did this, but you know what? For my own good, I choose to close that chapter of our book. I know I didn't want this to be part of our story. I didn't want this to be part of our story, and it is, and that's really sad. But at the same time, I'm going to focus on now. I'm going to focus on moving forward and to close that chapter. And so, finding that and experiencing that peace to be able to be okay. It's time to move on. I don't need to punish him anymore. I don't need to remind him how angry I am. And if you're ready to break free from this grip of anger, find a community. We have a Facebook group here. It's a support group for wives that are want to save their marriage but are enduring the healing, trying to find the way to heal. So you can join our Facebook group, support group for women who want to heal after betrayal and save their marriages. You can get our weekly videos on the YouTube channel here. Also, like I said, put a little like the word chat, CHAT, DM it to us or put it in the comments below, and we can set up a quick free 15-minute call where we can give you some personalized strategies on how to overcome anger, whatever you're going through. All right. So, anyway, don't hesitate to reach out for help. We're here for you. We have tons of resources we can send your way. And yeah, hopefully that'll help you get on a path to starting to heal the anger because it sucks. It sucks to feel this angry all the time and to have so many thoughts and not to be able to trust them. But I want to tell you there's more than hope. There's a proven strategy that helps and will help you get through this so you don't have to feel this way. You don't have to wake up feeling this way every day. All right, everyone. I'll chat with you soon. Thanks for joining.